KMBC TV, Kansas City. Thanks, Kansas City, for making us #1. This is KMBC 9 News at 5. Coverage you can count on.
Oh,
he paid for it Friday with $200,000 in cashier's checks he got during a bank robbery in Harrisonville. They believe the suspect is traveling with his girlfriend and her son and 2 grandsons. Authorities still looking for the man who robbed a Ward Parkway bank. He showed a gun to a teller at the Bank Midwest. He's described as black, 6 feet 2 inches tall, around 150 pounds. If you have any information, call the TIPS hotline.
and not so hot summer weather in our area. Hope you're enjoying it because you know Pete is going to say something like it's moving out of here.
Probably so. He's in the Weather Center with our first look. Pete?
Maria, you know me too well. That's right. It's going to get quite warmer. In fact, probably starting by Tuesday and Wednesday. Hope you've enjoyed the less humid air because it's not going to last much longer. It is quiet out there along pinpoint 9 Doppler radar in the eastern portions of Kansas and western Missouri. Outside we go, and City View camera, and on a Sunday afternoon looking pretty good out there in downtown Kansas City, still at a warm 85, but notice the heat index number is at the same reading. We haven't had the muggy days like we've had the past, last week. Winds are from the east to 5 to 10 miles an hour. For the rest of the evening, after the sunset at 8:44, we'll drop down into the mid-upper 70s. Winds will continue to be light from the east direction. No threat of any rainfall through tonight and tomorrow. But how warm will it get? And what about the 5-day trend and the upcoming week? We'll answer all those questions a little later. Jeremy, Maria?
All right, when we return, sounds a little strange, a man handing out money at one Metro Mall. Who is he and why is he doing this? Ahead, meet the money man.
And a man in custody tonight after an attempted attack on the president of France. That story when KMBC 9 News at 5:30 continues.
From KMBC 9 News, Kansas City's news leader, Maria Antonia, Jeremy Hubbard, meteorologist Pete Grigsby, and sports with Bill Pikus. You're watching KMBC 9 News Weekend Edition. Coverage you can count on.
Wonderful weekend, really not all that hot.
Kind of a wealth of a weekend,
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah.
I mean, we had to dish out a lot of money for this weather. Humidity levels have been low, but that will change soon. Tonight's picture, though, this was actually taken in Hot Springs, Arkansas by Ray of Kansas City, Missouri. High today got up to 86, still shy of the normal of 89. The record in 1954, 111 degrees. I'm glad we're not hitting that. Your forecast and 5-day trend up next.
Weather is brought to you.
This afternoon, a 38-year-old bridge tender was in the tower when it crumbled. She was taken to a hospital with broken bones. Traffic on the river has been halted until authorities figure out why this structure fell apart.
Well, we were looking at the record high. Yeah, it is. We were looking at the record high from today, 111 degrees. Wow,
It's
we're
like,
lucky.
wow, we are lucky. I mean, to be in the low 80s and have humidity levels as low as they are, especially mid-July. So, you know, here we go. Let's
Take a
just
deep
enjoy
breath, enjoy it, and then wait to be hit with whatever else
Oh,
is
yes, you know
coming our
what's
way.
coming. It's not difficult to forecast July in Kansas City, but we've had a nice break from the heat. Today's high in Park University, 86. And in Springs, 87 and 78 in Lee Summit. Even though it got into the 80s, it did not feel that bad with the heat index values hanging around the same number as a thermometer. For example, City View camera looking very good out there, and look at the downtown temperature. It's at 79, heat index at 80. Now, when you're dealing with dew points around 60, 61 in July, that's very good. But watch this number carefully for the upcoming week. As it gets closer to 70, it's going to be very muggy and get back to the heated days like we had earlier this week. On pinpoint 9 Doppler radar, a very quiet situation. We haven't had any activity since earlier yesterday when it was mainly south of Kansas City around Springfield. But now, even down there, it's very quiet. So we're heading for a nice, comfortable overnight. Clear skies for us, but all the activity to the south and southeast, especially around Arkansas. That aerial low pressure that sagged southward right over us on Friday is now just kind of hanging around and floating around areas of Louisiana and Arkansas and Oklahoma. And with that comes the moisture and a few thunderstorms. But when you take a closer look at us, it's far enough south where it doesn't really affect us any longer. So all across Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, Iowa, we just continue to name the states all across the Midwest, and it is another nice night indeed. Now, the high pressure that was centered just north of us yesterday Remember the nice breeze from the northeast? Oh yes, enjoying that comfortable breeze. As this high pressure just sags southward right over St. Louis, because of that position change, it brings in a different flow. The winds will be from the south-southeast tomorrow, and that's going to slowly warm things up. As we get closer to Tuesday, the breeze will be from the south, and yes, the heat will return. Now tomorrow around 87, 88 degrees as the 90s kind of float around, especially west of here. But look what happens on Tuesday. Right across, hot conditions invade and stay with us for the remainder of the week. Here's how we break it down. 63 for the overnight, very light breeze from the east, a beautiful starlight evening, and tomorrow 88 degrees, southeast breeze at 5 to 10, back to normal. On the 5-day trend, the trend is upward and it holds steady around the 90-degree mark as the Royals are in town for a long stretch. We do have a chance of rain, but it's only those afternoon pop-up thunderstorms coming Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Highs 91, 92, overnight lows into the 70s. And the humidity levels will no doubt increase back to good old July weather as we talk about midweek.
We start falling back to that pattern.
Yeah, but it's been a nice 2, almost 3 days. Yeah. Very nice break.
All right, thank you.
Now, when we return, the sci-fi movie Men in Black making lots of money.
The movie with Will Smith has thousands turning out at the box office. We'll tell you how much.
Well, the weekend is here, and it's shaping up to be another hot and humid one.
Pete's in for Brian tonight live. Well, it's backyard barbecue time.
Yeah.
Pete, where are you?
Well, I'm in Independence, actually, at Dana and Ed Young's home here in Independence, along with our partners Hen House and Chef Hines. And, you know, with Brian Busby and the backyard every Friday, I thought, you know, Brian, if you need a day off, Friday would be the best day. So I don't argue the point of being here for him on this beautiful afternoon. In fact, let's head over to really quick. And Chef Hines of the Hen House, what do you got going for us today in this great luau?
Ribeyes from the Hen House, Hereford beef, the best we have, and we have pork tenderloin over here, and we have chicken kebabs and roasted vegetables today, and it's a beautiful Hawaiian luau we have tonight.
It's a great environment too. You're going to try to get a dip in the pool later?
I believe so.
Okay, anyway, it's looking pretty good out here. The food is smelling great. And let's check in with our Instant Weather Network because, as you can see from our mobile weather van number 4, the temperature has been very cooperative. Normally for this time is around 87, 88 degrees, and that's about where we are now. Some areas did head up to around 90, but the winds have been very light from the east-southeast direction. Heat index also cooperative, not as high as it has been the past couple of days, but still kind of warm. Let's talk about what's in the air on this Friday afternoon. Good news about the skycast. It's going to be in a yellow mode tomorrow, and the pollen slowly creeping upward. Our complete first alert forecast for the weekend and more with the luau coming up a little later. Chris and Kelly, back to you.
Right.
All right, not a bad assignment, Pete.
Oh, not at all.
Thanks. Is it possible to make better drivers over the internet? And a list of the top 10 small improvements can be found by going to our website, thekansascitychannel.com.
Backyard barbecue time. Pete in for Brian tonight, live out in Independence. Pete?
Looking pretty good out here. A lot of great food thanks to our partners Hen House, and of course Chef Hines is here kicking up and getting ready for the big feast probably within the next 15 minutes or so. We have clowns out here. It's a luau theme. We have a swimming pool, many great things, and we'll show you more coming up in a little bit. Let's talk about Independence for a second and what's going on with our mobile weather van number 4 that's out here on location. It's looking good. I mean, our temperature is up there. I mean, it's 86 degrees, but it's a little better than it has been. And remember the 90 plus we've had, especially 3 days ago. Heat index out here is at 92, and of course no rainfall, but the humidity around 60%. Pinpoint 9 Doppler radar is very quiet. We had a few thunderstorms pop up yesterday. They didn't last very long, but all of Missouri and Kansas looking rather dry at this time. That's going to set us up for a fairly dry but kind of a warm, muggy evening all across Independence and across Kansas City. Let's go to the maps and talk about our cloud scan. And we've had a little bit of cloud cover here and there, but most of the activity still to the due southwest of Kansas City. And there's just not a major system that's going to be moving through, bringing us any big change. Part of our Doppler radar network, we look for rainfall. We go a little farther out, and the nearest rainfall is to the deep south. You'll see some of the rain showers creep up around southwest portions of Arkansas. And that's it, folks. I mean, there's really not much going on, so let's go ahead and look to the weekend. For Saturday and Sunday, our surface map does show it's going to be kind of a toasty one. We'll have sunshine and a few clouds moving in by afternoon. There is a slight chance of a shower and a thunderstorm late tomorrow night into Sunday morning. The heat does stay with us, even though we have that evening thunderstorm for tomorrow. The heat stay with us all the way through Sunday, and then that slight chance of a shower will continue probably till early afternoon Sunday. But again, our temperatures in the 90s. Our forecast is to break it down for you for this Friday afternoon and evening. For the rest of the evening, it'll be a sultry sunset and calm. Temperature 85 degrees, winds from the southeast at 5 to 10. For the overnight, clear and warm, only down to 72, winds continuing from the southeast direction. Tomorrow, it'll be sunny and hot. There's a chance of a thunderstorm that can pop up, high up to 92. And Sunday, about the same situation with a high around 91. Again, it looks pretty warm and nice for the weekend, but out here in Independence, looking very nice. All right, let's hear it for Independence. All right, as you can tell, we got the clowns here. They've been making balloons, and they're getting ready to dump in the pool pretty soon. So
It's dangerous.
yeah, I know.
All right, here's the deal. When Busby does these, he brings back ribeyes, he brings back
Lots of food.
ribs.
Is that how it is?
Yeah.
You didn't leave those instructions for me.
Search out those leftovers
I'll
for us,
bring you
Pete.
We have a
some
communications problem here, Pete. Thanks.
I'll bring you plenty back.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, there's much more ahead at 5, but we do want to take a moment, show you what's coming up at 6.
And Larry standing by in the newsroom with a preview. Larry?
Chris and Kelly, here are some of the stories we're working on right now here in the newsroom for 6 o'clock tonight. Continuing coverage and following the story of a sexual assault on the KU campus in Lawrence. We'll have a live report for you tonight at 6 o'clock. Also at 6, you've been paying the high prices for gasoline. We have much more on this story. Now the Attorney General looks into price fixing. We have the latest on the gas situation for you tonight at 6. Plus getting to Chiefs games on the buses. But is that going to be as easy as it has been?
For the entire weekend through early next week, get ready. The warm air is going to stay with us. High of 91, and Tuesday looking pretty good. And by the way, just before we toss it back to you, we've got some swimmers ready to jump in. Are you ready, guys? Independence, here they go. Go ahead, go right ahead. Larry and Kelly are watching. Larry, Kelly, back to you.
Good job.
Wow, between that pool party and that feast, that's the place to be tonight.
I'm ready to jump in myself.
I bet you are.
Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Pete. Hundreds of Kansas Cityans were all shook up